Hey guys, I'm Vanel Joseph,
I'm Pablo Rodriguez.
and we're so today we're going to be tackling the National Squash League, or the NSL for short. It's a league that was started by Timmy Brownell and a couple of his partners, and we just can't wait to get started on what that means for the United States and squash for the United States, as well as what it means for squash as a whole. So we're going to be diving into what it is, what the new rules are, as well as when the season starts, where you can catch those games, and the draft that happened this past Saturday. And it was insanely eventful.
Mm-hmm.
How you feel about it?
We're excited to cover it.
Yeah.
Let's get right to it.
We'll get right into it.
And now we're going to get to the NSL rules and scoring system. Basically, it's a 3v3 where they basically play against each other for a duration of 70 minutes. There's 3 legs. First 2 legs are 20 minutes. Last leg is 30 minutes. And basically, it's all about points. As long as you score more points than the other person or your other team on that leg, you win that leg. The first 2 legs are worth 1 point, and the last leg is worth 2. And as well, each team has 2 substitutions for the first 2 leg and 3 substitutions for the last leg. And as well, each player has to play 15 minutes for the duration of the match
in order for you to be qualified as a player, which I think is fair.
Yeah, that's
fair.
That's
completely new to the game of squash.
Yeah.
I mean, in opposed to the regular way that all of the professionals and even the college players play, it's usually a best of 5, games of 2-11. Very individual, very quick type thing.
It gives each person on the team a chance to perform and show what they're made of.
Yeah, and I think it's good. That's a good setup. But what do you do if there's a tie?
So basically, if they're tied, they go into a shootout where the team orders their players from 1 to 3, 1, 2, 3, and they play 1 point against the other person's 1, 2, and 3. And whoever has the most points, or the first 1 to 3 points, wins the match.
Wow, that's exciting.
Yeah,
that's exciting.
Keeps you at the end of your sheet
the entire time.
And as well, they have one unique feature: power plays. So each team has power plays for each section. For the first 2 periods, each team has 2 power plays, where basically whichever team calls that power play is the only one allowed to gain points, and the opposing team can only defend. If they win a rally, they get no points at all.
Wow, so it's really a battle of survival. And you can't call a power play in the last 4 minutes, right?
Of each period. So if you're in the last 4 period and you're down a couple points, it's looking rough.
It's looking rough. I'm just imagining a player like Mustafa Asal, who, when their team calls a power play, now he's just shooting for winners.
Straight rollers, straight attacking, pressure, keeping you in your seat and basically challenging each player's physicality.
Yeah. That's going to be insane to watch. Super excited. Going into the draft now, let's start out with how we felt going into and after the draft.
Yeah, so a lot of new players starting out, coming into the league. For example, Mustafa Asal. So that's exciting. High pressure, intense squash that he plays. I'm assuming he's going to be a player, a good player for the whoever team picks him up.
Is Mohamed Al-Shabagi, is he new or recurring?
It is new.
Brand new. Oh,
and as well, very exciting. This is the second year for the men's league and first year for the women's league. So completely new roster for everybody, and exciting squash to see.
If you've been keeping in on our Instagram, we've been uploading a lot of content about who these new team players are, who these new members are, what the new teams are, just so that you guys can show a face to the teams, keep that in the back of your head when the season starts. So now let's get into the draft.
Exciting. Let's start with the women's.
The Philadelphia Freedom had the first round draft. They had the first pick of the season. Yeah. And they chose Olivia Weaver.
Which is, I can't blame him.
I'm not going to lie to you. I wasn't surprised.
I wasn't surprised at all.
I wasn't surprised.
Probably one of the more stronger players in this year's draft.
I mean,
top 4. She's knocking on the top 3.
Literally knocking on the top 3. I mean, she just had an insane performance even at the Australian Open. She just dominated. And I mean, I'm just excited to see what she does for this league too.
Yeah. I'm excited to see from Olivia just pure technique and just taking control of the court and keeping that pressure on how she just did in the Australian Open.
So next we have the DC Inferno with the second pick in the first round. And they chose, to me, not surprising whatsoever, Amanda Sobey.
I was surprised.
You were surprised.
Surprised, yes.
What brings that surprise?
Literally just the rules of the NSL. It's way more aggressive.
Yeah.
way more punishing, so and more and harder on your physicality. I'm just gonna give that edge to the younger players, which I feel like are more hungry to come into this new established league.
Yeah.
And I was surprised. There was a couple other picks that did not expect to go so late in the draft.
I think with the way that this league is set up
Mm-hmm.
and how it's a very tactical league, you have to play pretty different to the way that normal squash is played.
Mm-hmm.
I just think her level of experience and mental fortitude will dominate this league.
That is
I don't
fair.
like I to me at least like she's easily the best American born squash player.
That is true.
Just
She has a
probably
long
of all
legacy.
time.
She does have a long legacy.
She has a long legacy. I mean, anybody who can go through their entire college career and not lose a match. I
Yeah.
mean, I can't sleep on you at all.
Yeah, that is
So
fair.
I'm
But
excited, but
I feel like her experience will dominate a little bit. But I
yeah,
feel like the hunger of the younger players will just
we'll
it'll be a
see.
nice match. Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. That's exciting.
All
That's
right.
exciting.
And for the first round, third pick,
By the Sono Sharks,
Sono Sharks.
we
They
have
have Salma
Salma
Haney,
Woo!
which is I'm not surprised.
No,
Not surprised at all.
honestly, this was when I started getting surprised a little
Really?
bit. Yeah.
How
yeah.
so?
Mainly for the fact that, don't get me wrong, Salma Haney is an absolute
Mhm,
monster.
mhm,
I
mhm.
mean, if you look at her list, you look at her skills, 13 in the world right now,
Yeah.
as of this video coming out, her aggression and her tactics are absolutely second to none. But I will say that there are a couple other players in this draft that I thought might have went first. But
That is fair. That is fair.
I'll
But
point those out. I'll point those out.
I'm gonna point out I'm a little biased.
Yeah.
I've been a fan of her since 2019.
Salma
So
fan.
I've been back then
Yeah.
supporting.
All right.
So
Well, then I can't wait to see how she does.
Yeah.
The Sono Sharks. These first round draft picks, though, especially for the pool that we started with, I don't really think you could have gone wrong.
Yeah, that is true.
You know.
I feel like all the top players are going
Right. You know.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
And
Going into our first round, fourth pick
Mhm.
by the Lake Erie Beacons,
Mhm.
we had Sabrina Sobi.
I'm surprised about that one.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
There's at least 3 or 4 other players where I feel like their playing style are better suited towards this kind of rules and like play style of the NSL. But availability is
The biggest.
the biggest factor here. So
Yeah.
she might be available, and she lives in the U.S. So
Yeah.
that might explain it.
And let me be clear, you guys. In no way, shape, or form are me and Pablo hating.
Absolutely not.
Like, I have the utmost
Mhm.
respect for every single player that is in this pool. But I agree. There might be players that might be better suited for this line of rules.
Mhm.
And Sabrina Sobi, I mean, she follows in the footsteps of her sister very, very closely. I mean, she's an absolute monster in and
Yeah.
of herself. But I don't know. I think there were other names here that made me think, you're going pretty low on this draft here.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get into who do we feel were steals, and do you think there were any steals in the first draft, in the first
round?
Yeah.
No, I feel
No?
like everybody was. I feel like a couple of them got robbed.
Really?
Not as in anybody in the first round, but like in the later rounds got robbed and
I
got
see.
put later in the draft,
Okay.
which I'll bring up later. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Me myself, I don't believe that there were any steals. I think that, like you
Really?
said, I think everybody got their just desserts. You
Mhm.
know, I mean, I think the
No,
first.
I'm not gonna lie to you. There's one pick in the third round which we'll talk about, which was crazy to me,
You thought it was wild,
which is wild.
but okay.
Yeah.
Then let's get into the second round. No,
Mhm.
no holding back.
No, Mac.
Second round, first pick by the Philadelphia Freedom. We had
Melissa
Melissa Alves.
Melissa Alves,
From France.
which not gonna lie to you, a little surprising.
I mean, granted, by her world ranking, you would assume because there were other people in the pool
Mhm.
that were a little bit higher. But I mean, I think she has the fire.
Yes,
Like you said before.
she's so physical and strong.
Yeah.
I feel like she was bound to go from just that pure aggression.
Yeah.
I feel like there was one other person
Mm-hmm.
above. I'm like, this is surprising.
And we have the same person
We
in
have
mind
the same
too.
person, which
We
we'll
have
bring
the
up as well.
I thought it was interesting that this person was falling so low.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, a draft's a draft. I assume that the
owners
of these teams were being very tactical with their
Mhm.
choices. and I can't wait to see how that impacts in the regular season.
Yeah, they did not have a long time in the draft. I believe it was
No.
like 5 to 10 minutes.
No,
to
it was
choose.
like 2 minutes 30 seconds.
Really?
Yeah.
2 minutes and 30 seconds to pick each player, which
Yeah.
was super stressful. And and everybody going first round, first picks, everything just slims down.
But it was an interesting draft. It was an
Mhm.
interesting draft. But as of right now, I think Melissa Alves is gonna do great. I mean,
Great pick, great aggression, nice power, good
she's
playing style.
she's near, her peak in the sense of her highest world ranking. She's one below it. Like she's
Mhm.
right there, knocking on the door of really getting into that upper echelons of players in the world.
Mhm.
So I think you'd be amiss to sleep on her.
That is true. All right, second round,
Second pick,
second pick.
the DC Inferno,
DC Inferno's got Jasmine Hunton.
Jasmine Hutton,
Jasmine Hunton.
Jasmine Hutton.
Which are you? That's fair. I'll give that. I'll give him that.
How are you gonna say that's fair, but
I'll give him
Melissa
that one.
Alves is surprising?
I'll give him
You're
that
looking
one.
at a one ranking difference.
Look. It's just I like her playing style.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
She's just so mobile and her movement. I feel like
Her movement is elite.
her movement is elite, and I'm just feel like she can be a good placeholder and
Yeah.
create some good momentum for the other teams and create a sub, and
Mhm.
just tire the opponent's teams out.
Mhm.
I just feel like
And I agree with you. The best ability is availability. And when you are talking about a couple players who have shown and expressed dedication to the league, I mean that shows precedence. That takes precedent for who you have on your team, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Going into the second round, third pick, we had I'm a fan. I'm a big fan.
I'm a big fan.
Marina Stefanoni.
Marina.
This to me
Homeroll, yes.
is the first this was a steal for me. I thought this was a steal in the draft.
Really?
I think especially for her age, for the amount of maturity that comes off of how she plays, it's just like it's you got to watch her play, man.
To be fair, she is probably one of the youngest people in the draft, or
For
not
sure.
one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like she is super efficient, but I feel like that age.
You think it's gonna play a part?
Yeah, she might not have enough experience on the tour, or playing against these higher level competitors. So that might challenges, as you know.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I'd say, especially with Salma Henny going 1, Marina Stefanoni at 2, I'm looking out for those Sono Sharks.
Yeah,
I'm looking out for those Sharks. Don't swim with them. Don't swim with them.
More biased. So, I don't lie. Selma Handy fan here and Marina Stefanoni fan.
So it's Sono Sharks.
Sono Sharks.
That might be the podcast's pick.
We might be repping the Sharks.
Yeah.
All right.
But going into our last pick for the second round, we had Lucy Beecroft. From England.
To be fair,
yeah,
I don't know much about Lucy Beecroft.
You sleeping? You don't know about her offensive prowess?
I've only seen a couple of her matches.
Okay. Okay. Well,
but please.
And personally, first and foremost, that's why I'm very excited about this league. It shows you, it gives an opportunity for some of these players who you might not see, on a normal PSA tour as often as an Amanda Sobey, Olivia Weaver. But now you get a chance to really see these players. And I'd say Lucy Beecroft, I mean, I've only seen, maybe 2 or 3 of her matches. But her offensive thought process is very, I am going to absolutely be a problem on
and I
offense.
feel like in this type of rule set, it's racking up those points.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to see a Lucy Beecroft during a power play.
That is fair.
I don't want to see
They might
her.
rack up the points in that power play.
If I'm the defender on that, I'm going to have a hard time.
That is fair. She's going to just be pouring that offense out.
Yeah.
Keep rapid firing those attacking forces. That's fair.
What we're going to be doing now is wrapping up for these teams specifically, because I wish we had the time to go through every single player on this list. And if we get enough likes, maybe we'll drop that video.
Yeah.
But what we're going to do now is list the names of these players on specific teams, and we're going to show you their rankings and give an idea of whether we're surprised or excited.
And third round for Philadelphia Freedoms, Rowan El Arabi, which is ridiculous.
I mean,
I don't know how she was still in the draft.
I don't know.
I don't know how she was still in the pool.
I was shook.
I was shocked
at this point. But I'm telling you, that Philadelphia Freedom team, also be on the lookout, because Rowan El Arabi is bringing in a competitive side that...
Yes, I would say that they stole her.
That's a steal?
That's a steal.
We got a steal, guys.
I don't know how she was still in the pool.
I agree.
And with Olivia Weaver and her, two top tens in the world.
Yeah.
That's man, that pressure. That pressure.
Philadelphia is fighting for freedom.
And
And then for the fourth round for the Philadelphia Freedom, we had Catalina Pelez, as well as the fifth round, Grace Gear. Two players who I am, again, excited to see come out because there are two reserves that are going to be on these teams. And I believe that the main idea or the main function for these reserves is availability. For what we have for Catalina and Grace is what the Boston Celtics would call the stay ready team.
Yeah.
You know, at any time we got to have you guys ready to go and ready to play at your highest level. And I believe that they'll be able to do it.
And for the DC Inferno, third round pick Lisa Atkins.
Steal.
That is
steal.
That is definitely
Lisa Atkins. Steal.
That is her. I'll give you that one.
She just absolutely demolished the Odense Open, and I mean, like, in a fashion that was exciting to watch. Exciting to watch for sure. But I really can't wait to see what she does in this league. She's on her climb. She's on her rise right now. So I can't wait to see it continue.
Can't wait to see it. Yeah. And for the fourth and fifth picks of DC Inferno, we have Margot Prow and Marie Steffen. And to be fair, I don't know much of these players.
And that's okay. I think these were what you would call diamonds in the rough. You know, you dig deep, you figure out whether or not there's something that could work for this type of league, and you take a chance. I don't know much, but I'm still not going to sleep.
And this is why the NSL is so great. It gives some of those players that are not viewed as the top 25 or 50 players that the PSA covers so much, some limelight.
If the PSA or these other big conglomerates for squash don't give them the shine,
here we are.
We will.
Yeah.
We will. So please, you know, stay in the loop. Next for the Sono Sharks, we have Tori Malik,
which I believe she's one of the younger players.
Yeah?
I think she's 20.
Wow.
Fresh out. Wow. I'm like, but she's up there.
She's
Tori Malik, 20 years old, 43.
In the world.
And exciting to see. She's coming up very quickly.
I'd imagine your competitive spirit at that point.
Yeah, it's just she might take that
step.
Yeah, that step forward and kind of break into the maybe top 40 soon with the momentum from the NSL.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
For the fourth and fifth picks for the Sono Sharks, we have Hannah Moates and Miriam Metwali. But, I mean, two Egyptian players coming to play for the NSL.
Yeah.
Sounds like nothing but good news to me.
Yeah, and Hannah Moates is coming up.
Going into the final team, rounding out the team, we have for the Lake Erie Beacons, Holly Naughton from Canada, Alina Bushma from Ukraine.
Shout out to Alina.
Yeah?
Shout out to Alina. Yeah, I've met her.
Really?
Yeah.
That's cool. And we're going to be posting in one of our videos for background. A lot of these players we met or have a personal connection with, so we try our best to really shout them out.
Yeah.
So reach out.
And funny enough, Alina actually played in one of the SEA fundraisers for Squash Busters. I believe it was Providence. So yeah,
that's
she
awesome.
Has a close connection to the sponsors of NSL.
And then finally, we have Audrey Burling from the USA.
Yeah.
I haven't even really heard much about Audrey, but I'm excited to see what United States got cooking.
Yeah, she actually, I've watched a couple of her matches in college. Yeah, she has incredible attacking ability.
Yeah,
just the pressure she puts in, and like she's young too. She's 24, I believe. She's just outside of the top 100, so it's maybe another diamond in the rough that people don't know about.
Best ability is availability. We're keeping it in mind.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. That was the first ever women's draft for the NSL of 2025, and that was our coverage.
Yeah. Before we leave, any predictions?
I mean, major predictions are, of course, that the Sono Sharks are going to dominate.
Absolutely.
And that the Philadelphia Freedom are going to be causing the most trouble. But if we're being fully 100% serious and unbiased, I would say that this year's final is going to go to Philadelphia Freedom.
Yeah, I fangirling here. I want the Sono Sharks to win, but I feel like Philadelphia has it. The roster is looking it's looking strong throughout.
It's very strong.
Yeah,
it's very strong.
But not discounting anybody else from other teams. DC has the experience of Manasobi and
I would never discount.
never has the experience of Manasobi and just great overall players as well to support her as well. And Lake Erie, just the youngins, the OKC.
I hope
As
you
we say.
understand. To me, the DC Inferno has Captain America. Like Amanda Sobi to me is the definition of Captain America. Fight through adversity and still be amazing when you come out.
That is fair. I'll give you that one. Yeah, but I feel like Lake Erie's just youth will spring out through and provide a challenge for other teams as well.
That's the OKC Thunder right now.
Yeah, and you know, Sono Sharks. Well, I'm here. Day one.
Sono Sharks, we are #1 fans.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for tuning in on us as we covered the draft, our first ever coverage on a squash draft. Yeah, the women's draft. Yeah. So we're hopefully going to be getting nothing but better when it comes to these coverage things, and we can't wait to see you on the next video when we cover the men's draft.
Yeah, which is exciting. Extremely large draft, 9 teams and 5 per team. It's just insane.
It's huge. It's a huge draft. But you know what? We're gonna cover it with the same dedication that we covered this one.
We'll catch you next time.
See you guys later.
See you.